Hey everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of the Scratch the Track podcast presented by the Dude and Grim Show and co-produced by Mr. IVEST. I am the Dude.
And I am Grim, and today we are going to do something that we're going to start as a bit of a tradition, I hope. And we are going to talk about our favorite winter albums. 'Tis the season, so we're each going to take 5 and see if we have to maybe bring some of our honorable mentions into the list due to a tie. I don't know if we'll have time. So with that, Dude, number one winter album.
So we did do the fall albums.
Yep.
This was with our pumpkin spice lattes. I think this is more gingerbread latte kind of season here.
I was thinking a bourbon drink, but yeah.
Ginger snap.
But hey, and if you check out the fall ones, that would be probably a good time to go ahead and
like, subscribe, and comment below. So the first couple here I think are sort of obvious. This is one I know that is near and dear to both of our hearts, Mr. Grimm, and I do have it on vinyl, and that is the classic Wish You Were Here.
Can I just see the real cover? I mean...
No, because it's going to take too long.
Okay.
That's what she said.
Well, I wish... maybe we can do the thing like we're shaking hands on fire.
Sort of like that.
I do like
but yeah, I chose Wish You Were Here. I mean... Pink Floyd to me, and that sort of kind of darker, more introspective sort of music is something I really associate when it comes to winter albums.
Dude, like driving in a car when the snow's falling will Welcome the Machine is just like ripping. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
And even the beginning, those little synth drops, if you turn up Shine On a Crazy Diamond, they're like little snowflakes, man.
Oh, totally. Yeah. That's exactly what it is. Exactly. So, all right. What do you got, Grim? What's your first one?
For my first one, it may surprise you. I wish I had this on vinyl. I don't. I probably have the CD back somewhere. But, and this is not probably the one you would think, but that is Embryonic by the Flaming Lips.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I'm sure that you would have thought Yoshimi, but to me... Yoshimi is more associated with springtime, like in the morning of the magicians, like as the snow is melting.
The birds,
the
birds chirping and that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yep. So Embryonic to me, though, I don't know. Maybe it's because that's when I started listening to it, but to me, it is just it's real, like kind of desolate and just out there.
Sure. Yeah, no, I could definitely see that one. I think the one memory I always have with Yoshimi is when we were driving back from spring break in that snowstorm and we were listening to Yoshimi.
But then it was like that. Probably we were coming out of it during the morning of the magicians, and that's magicians.
Pretty much. That was a rough.
I don't know.
I don't know. We don't know yet. Number 2 is also another one that's fairly obvious, and that is Radiohead's Kid A. Again, a lot of darkness, a lot of introspection.
Dude, the imagery of the mountains.
And the imagery, I mean, you really can't get more than that. And that's kind of when I know you and I really started getting into them was probably late fall and that.
Yeah,
that
I feel like it came out earlier, but yeah, that's the time. And dude, like, I also feel like for some reason with the sounds in the song Kid A, it's like you can feel the snow coming down. And it reminds me a little bit of the Nutcracker of the Dance of the Sugar Plum Fairies, just the way that, and that's definitely a winter thing.
So winter, definitely. All right, what do you got?
Well, at this point, I'm going to have to blow the siren because that, my good man, was my next one. I have the double 7-incher, but Kid A was my next one. So... with that in mind, I'm going to head then and kind of call an audible there.
Okay.
And my next one then would be Polygondwanaland by King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard.
Dude,
it's just, you know what I'm saying? It has a lot of darkness and a lot of,
It does. It goes to those places, the crumbling castle.
Oh,
man, it's just,
dude,
it's a phenomenal album.
Yep.
We should also take this moment. Obviously, you've already
subscribe and comment below.
But definitely let us know, what your guys' albums are? Do you have ones you gravitate towards, like sort of seasonally? Because I know for us, Grim, the fall really seemed to be more acoustic, kind of driven, right?
Winter's almost kind of weirdly electronic. You know, they like there's other for some reason, and I don't know why, but my next one will contradict that very statement. Though.
Yeah. There is that electronic feel, maybe a little more space and stuff, but that's when I do gravitate towards the Pink Floyds and the Radioheads. And,
really,
I could have picked Dark Side. I think Animals we've talked about.
I know.
Metal even. Like there's just certain albums that, just really go with that.
Adam Hart Mother Cousin.
Ooh, Adam Hart Mother. The next one we have actually done a Scratch a Track episode on.
Oh boy.
And it may not be an obvious one, but when I first heard it, it was wintertime, and that is actually the Shins, Wincing the Night Away.
I almost put that one on my honorable mention list, and I totally get why, especially with Black Wave some reason.
Oh, okay.
Black Wave.
Me, the first song.
Sleeping Lessons, for sure.
But the story of that is that it was over like Christmas break or something, and Jake Perry had like a bootleg copy of it before it even got released, and we listened to it like over Christmas.
That's sweet.
So I just kind of associated with that.
Yeah, sure.
I will say with the songs, what is it, like Australia?
Yeah, so I know what you mean.
Those are a little summery because they are
enough of them are dark enough where I think
the second half of the album is pretty slow and dark. It is. So those are my first three that I do have all on vinyl. The next two I don't. So what do you got next, Grim?
This one, I don't know if you've listened to this record. I actually would like to do a scratch on it. And this was something my lovely wife picked up. And that is the
Fleet Foxes.
The self-titled Fleet Foxes album. And there's something about it where to me, it like I could view it as like winter in the mountains because there's a lot of imagery in it to like the Blue Ridge Mountains of Tennessee. And but dude, just that initial track, Sun It Rises, it's like this. It's very acoustic, but the vocals just have this space behind them that you could just like hear echoing through these snowy mountains. And I don't know why. There's no story about me getting into this in the winter. But man, I could see in a winter sunrise, dude, that Sun It Rises, that first track, man. Just
sweet.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to go with my number 4. And I think this one is definitely a curveball. And that is by, we don't do a whole lot of rap on this podcast.
Christmas on Death Row?
No, definitely not. This would be Atmosphere's album, The Family Sign. I don't even know if you're familiar with that one.
I'm not. I tend to gravitate more toward his early stuff. I was thinking you were going God Loves Ugly on this one, but
no, I wasn't. This one came out in 2011, and I didn't. What I like about it though is it's not a very aggressive album, and it has a lot of he utilizes a lot of piano in the album, which for me certain piano parts and sounds I can kind of feel in the winter. But there's also a song on the album, I think it's the third track, it's called Became, and it has a real sort of darker feel, and he uses I love his lyrics, but a lot of great imagery, and but he talks about sort of following tracks like through the snow and everything.
Oh, okay.
It's dude, if you get a listen, I think you might dig it.
I will.
It's definitely, I don't know. I that one, and then
I honestly kind of stopped with him. Dude, you can't imagine how
that's
much
my
fun.
favorite.
That's
my favorite.
That's a really good one. That's probably my favorite too. I did listen to When Life Gives You Lemons, You Paint That Shit Gold.
I love that one.
Yeah, I still the early ones, man. Seven's Travels, dude. The Lucy Ford EP.
That's what's funny is like I never overly got it. Like, Headshots, Lucy Ford.
Oh, Headshots is awesome too. Yeah, I got to give a shout out to Joe Boo and my man Tom.
I have all those.
But even like Atmosphere.
It's funny. I don't know why I've gravitated towards the more recent ones.
Yeah, that's cool though.
So, all right, what do you got now?
Number 4, dude. I wish I could hold this up. I have another record by them, but not this one. Would be A Deeper Understanding by The War on Drugs.
Wow.
And I don't know why. I mean, their music is really kind of dreamy and spacey, so that kind of helps. I don't know why the fact that he uses this Lynn drum machine and it gives me such an 80s vibe, like, of how these drums sound. I mean, dude, when you listen to it, I guarantee, especially for someone who hasn't really listened to them, I guarantee you'd hear that and be like, I hear the 80s in this.
Right.
And I don't know why.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll have to add that to the list. Well, my fifth and final album is kind of an interesting one. It's not even, I mean, it's an album, but it's such I'll have to explain it. So there's this 9 Inch Nails EP. I guess it's sort of an EP, and it's called Still.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Fixed, the broken remixes.
No. And it came out around just after The Fragile came out. And it's kind of in line, I think, with their, what do you call it? They had the double DVD that was titled like And All That Could Have Been. Yeah. And this actually has a song on it, And All That Could Have Been. It also has, basically they did some studio stuff, like live stripped down sort of acoustic based versions of like Something I Can Never Have, The Fragile, The Becoming, and The Day the Whole World Went Away.
Interesting.
So those are like 4 of those. And then they pulled 5 other songs that were just used, but I think they were going to partially be used in The Fragile. He was doing like a movie soundtrack for Mark Romanic. And I think part of like a few of the songs got used, but then there were some leftovers. But there's a song on there. And it's called In All That Could Have Been. And I really wish that song would have actually made The Fragile, because it is one of my probably one of my top 10 Nine Inch Nails songs. Like I really, really love that song. And so it's like 9, the album's, I think like 9 songs or something, but you would know, like, obviously the other ones they did in the studio, but it's definitely worth checking out some of the other ones. So I'd definitely check that out.
That's cool. Now, I didn't go back to the fall episode to reference this, but I'm pretty sure one of the ones I listed in the fall was Elliot Smith New Moon. I'm almost positive I said that. That could also be a winter album for me, but since I'm going to say in the 90%-ish range, sure that I use that one, I'm not going to do that. And the one that I want to list is kind of, you wouldn't think of it as a winter album, so to speak. But I'll explain. So it is called Sunshine Hit Me by the Band of Bees, or I think in the U.S., due to legal reasons, as they're called, the Bees.
Oh, the Bees. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we will do them next year because our good man IVEST totally turned me on to the Bees with their album Free the Bees. Now, this album was done, I believe, before that, and it was recorded in like a garden shed kind of environment. But the beginning, dude, think about what you like about the beginning of Kid A. It's the warmth of how that keyboard comes in, and in that case, they used a synth. But how it comes in and everything in its right place. Dude, this has like a similar beginning, but it's done on a Rhodes piano, which is also incredibly warm. And and some of the songs have more of a warm weather vibe to them. There's kind of like a reggae song in there and stuff. To me, that's almost like in the winter when you're like kind of just longing to get in the sun for a little bit. But then a lot of the other album is really kind of spacey, and
I like it.
Yeah.
Sweet, man.
It's a really good one.
Cool.
I would recommend it. The cover has got this dude with like one of those lucha libre like wrestlers mask. It's kind of weird. It's a painting, but it's cool.
That's awesome. Very cool. Well, I think that wraps up our top 10 winter albums.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone, like we already told you, let us know below what you guys think. Do you agree with our choices? Do you listen to some of these albums, but maybe at different times of the year? Like, what ones stick out to you?
Like, subscribe, and comment below.
Is music sort of a seasonal thing? For me, it sort of is.
Yeah, and there's
certain
stuff
bands
that
I
I'll
find
listen
myself
to
listening
whenever.
to in the summer a lot more.
Because I've definitely
Oh, yeah.
sat, even this summer, sat by some fires and definitely thrown on Wish You Were Here late at night when the stars are out. But it's still a winter album if I was to be asked.
Yes, definitely. All right, well, I think that about wraps it up, Mr. Grimm. What you say? Yeah?
It's time to go.
Okay. The Dude and the Grimm.
Scratch a Track is produced by the Dude and Grimm. Additional music provided by Moore and the Tims. Copyright 2021. The Dude and Grimm Show.